So let's go ahead and get started. First, our top 10 stats is what we do and review in every staff meeting that we have. So every staff meeting that you have, we have staff meetings on Mondays, Wednesdays, and sometimes Fridays. So in those staff meetings, let's look at our staff meeting, talk about maybe how you should structure your staff meeting. First, in every staff meeting, we go over victories. So as my managers of our 6 locations here in Knoxville are together, we open up the floor for any victories that anybody wants to share. Now we encourage the instructors and the managers to be able to talk about victories in their personal life. I'm of course looking for victories in my business, but they may share victories on the classroom floor. Opening up your staff meeting by discussing victories gets everybody in a positive state of mind. Then we discuss challenges. Challenges are any problems that they're having, again, could be personally, probably mostly with the business, students, parents, problems with marketing, problems with what they're doing in our business. So we talk about challenges, and as a team, we go ahead and quickly overcome those challenges and make a plan to overcome those challenges. Then we move into our numbers. The numbers is what I want to talk to you today about in our top 10 stats. But once we go over each location's top 10 numbers, those 10 numbers dictate the rest of our conversation, dictate a lot of what we're going to talk about in our staff meeting. So let me give you an example. We're going over our numbers and we notice that appointments are really low. Appointments is the lifeblood of our business. So then we're going to be talking about, well, let's look at where your appointments were coming from and why they're not coming from now. So maybe you're looking at your web leads. Maybe you're looking at your social media and we're not generating enough leads from that. Maybe we haven't, maybe you did a big promotional booth at a large elementary school or an opening of a movie at the movie theater and you're running low on leads. Well, by noticing and pointing that out, in our conversation in our staff meeting, immediately we start talking about, hey, so your school, Mr. Manager, your school is low on leads. Let's talk about getting leads, because that's the most important thing at the time. Maybe we're looking at numbers and we're talking about the upgrade appointments or upgrade sales. Our upgrade sales are low for that particular point of the month. Well, then we need to talk about actions that we would put in place to make sure that we hit our upgrade goal. So at this point in our staff meeting, numbers dictate and take control of a lot of the conversation, because these top 10 numbers will tell you so much about your business. Now, the next thing in every staff meeting, we're going to discuss marketing. What's happened, what result we got, or what we need to be doing in the future for marketing and preparation for that marketing, right? Then we take a look ahead. Usually a look ahead is what's coming up in the next week or so. Again, of marketing events, activities at each one of our locations, at our school, graduations coming up, what do we need to do? All of those look ahead at different tasks that we need to be doing. And then we go over announcements at the end of every staff meeting. Announcements is communicating with the staff about things that we want them to remember or that we want them to do. Key thing about your staff meeting, again we do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, is keep it short and keep it sweet. I mean, keep it short by literally keeping it short. A good staff meeting should last about 30 minutes. You start having these hour-long, hour and 30-minute staff meetings with your team, they get bored, they start dreading them, and it's just not a good atmosphere. You want to get it into the staff meeting, hit it hard, have it positive, go over the information, and get gone. Don't make it long and drawn out. I say keep it sweet because you got to kind of keep it sweet. We try our best to keep our staff meetings positive. Now, if a manager is not performing, I'm not going to belittle them. I'm not going to berate them in front of the rest of the team. What I probably would do then is maybe ask that manager quietly to stay after the staff meeting and then do a little one-on-one exploration of what the problem is at that school at that time. So I do mean keep it sweet. We want to keep your staff meetings short. We want to keep them extremely positive. Have your team keep it, look forward to your staff meetings, keeping it light, keeping it friendly, and keeping it fun. Now, some of the owners may be going, well, what if I don't have a staff? What if I'm a one-man show? Listen, you need to have staff meetings if you're the only team member and you have to go to Starbucks and you have to go through this system yourself. Sit there and think of your own victories, think of your own challenges, go over your own numbers, think of your own marketing, right? So that would just be your own personal planning time. And then as you develop just one employee, then you need to meet with that employee and have this type of meeting with every staff member or every employee. And then as you grow, then you've got a full-on staff, okay, full-on staff meetings. Now, let's look at our top 10 stats and look at each one of them and why they're important. The first, now, let me say this. There's a lot of detailed stats that you should be keeping. We have a complete stat program in our software that we keep up with percentage of from appointment to show up, for an intro, from the L1, how many people came back to the L2, how many people signed up from the L2, which is the enrollment conference, how many equipment packages were sold, how many paid in fulls, how many upgrades, and so on, so on, so on. We keep detailed stats, but you don't need to discuss those detailed stats in every staff meeting. You do need to discuss and look at the top 10. Then if something's going wrong in your top 10 stats, then you go back and look at the detailed stats to try to figure out what the problem may be so you can fix it and get your top 10 stats back on track. So let's look at those top 10 stats. Very first thing we call, this one says power appointments. Power appointments is just a dumb name that I came up for just a simple introductory appointment. The reason it was power is because we go out and we create opportunities to gather leads and we make phone calls. We get the lead off the website, we quickly make a phone call and start texting them, right? We go at a promotional booth, we go to a school talk, we do birthday parties, all these different forms of marketing. We're aggressively calling and setting appointments. It's a big part of what we do and part of our success in Premier Martial Arts. Now, the power appointment then is how many appointments have been scheduled during a given week, and we actually have a goal for that. Each one of our schools might have a slightly different goal. The larger of our schools, our goal is 15 power appointments per week. So 15 introductory lessons scheduled in the calendar every single week. Some of our smaller, our S1X models, the real boutique, small models in great locations, and we don't need a lot of students and a lot of business because we keep expenses low and only one staff member. Maybe their power appointment goal is only 10 power appointments. Right? But we know, for example, if for a school, a bigger school, let's say 15 power appointments, we're going to think that about 7 actually show up because of our aggressive outgoing calling. People are calling us, they're walking in, the show up rate's going to be higher. But when we are calling people from aggressive lead generation, show up rate drops. So we're going to guess about 50% show up, so that's 7. But we know when we get in the door that those 7 people, our program directors are right on that 75–80% sign-up rate. We know we're going to get, for example, we get 5 of them. We do that every week. We get our 20 new students. Now, if your program director, your sign-up procedures are 50%, so you're only signing up half the people that walk in the door, then common sense tells us you probably need to bump that power appointment goal. But that's the lifeblood of our business, okay? So where are you getting your leads from? This focuses you on leads because you have to schedule a certain number of appointments each week. So is your website producing good leads? Is your social media? Is your rack cards? Is your birthday parties? Are you using those effectively to get leads? Again, your promotional booths, your school talks, and so on, right? So the next number is the number of new students, right? How many appointments are we getting? How many new students have we signed up so far, right? Number 3 is upgrade appointments. Now, if you've got upgrade systems in place at your business, you need to track those upgrade appointments and the results from your upgrading systems just as detailed as you would track your appointments to new students, because it is a part of your business. The upgrade systems itself is like having 2 different markets. The outside market you're signing to come into your business. The inside market is your current students that you can upgrade from higher level training program to higher level training program. So we know if our goal is to upgrade 15 new students a month in a bigger school, maybe the upgrade goal is only 5 or 6 in one of our smaller schools. Whatever the upgrade goal is, we know that we've kind of figured that we need to talk to twice as many people. So if our upgrade goal, let's say, is 10, well, we need to sit down with 20 families or adult students, have one of our 3 or 4 different opportunities to upgrade to put in place, and we know we're probably going to upgrade about half of those in any given month. So we actually set a goal, the number of appointments that need to be scheduled. So in this case, how many appointments are scheduled so far this month. Maybe my goal is I have to schedule 20 upgrade appointments, or I have to do 10 upgrade appointments to sign up 5 upgrades. Well, we want to keep track of that till we know we've gotten our goal. So upgrade appointments scheduled is number 3. So in review, number 1 is appointments scheduled for introductory lessons. Number 2 is the number of new students for that month. Number 3, upgrade appointments scheduled so far for that month. And then number 4 is upgrade sales. How many have you upgraded? How many students have you upgraded and sold those memberships to so far this month? Number 5 is our in-house revenue. How much money have we brought in-house currently this month? Now, if you've got a goal to hit $40,000, let's keep the numbers even because I'm not that bright with numbers, and your billing check or your accounts receivables is around $20,000, well, you know you need to do another $20,000 in in-house cash. So therefore, when I'm looking at that number, the number of in-house revenue, what we do then is we break that in-house revenue, that $20,000 we got to bring in every month. You should break that down weekly, $5,000 a week, and break that down daily. Take your weekly amount divided by the number of business days you have in the week. So maybe you have to do, $800 a day or $1,250 a day in cash. Now, this all kind of fits together, right? So I have to do a certain amount of in-house revenue every day, every week to hit my in-house revenue goal. We also want to keep an eye on our billing check. Number 6 is our billing check, or it's just our accounts receivables, the money coming in from your tuition payments, right? We want to keep an eye on that. Now, that's probably going to be pretty constant, right? Your billing check is going to either grow or decrease, but it usually doesn't spike real hard, or it shouldn't spike real hard within 30 days. It should stay hopefully climbing slowly. So you've got an idea about that, but we want to keep an eye on that as well. Number 7, then we add 5 and 6 together, and we always keep an eye on our total revenue brought in for so far for the month, for that particular time. I'm going to talk a second of when we look at these numbers and how we look at them throughout the month. Now, the next number, number 8, is very important. It's expirations. Expirations would be, of course, memberships that are set to expire within a given time period. So follow me. I want to write a number down of the number of memberships that would have expired in a given period of time. So if I'm looking at this week, which would be week 3 in March, for example, or week 4 in March, I want to look at all the memberships that were set to expire. Now, I may have renewed some of those already, but that's great. I hope I have, right? Because what I want to do is I want another number. I want to know the number of memberships that were set to expire and the number of those that I actually renewed. Now, renewed would be upgraded or renewed to the same level program, okay? So that gives me a number. So for example, this week, I don't even know the dates of this week. I think today's the 26th, Sean, 27th, right? So this week, Monday through Saturday, we would take a look at how many memberships would have expired. And we write that number down. And then how many we have upgraded or renewed so far. Because that tells us, one, it helps keeps an eye on expired memberships, but it tells us how good a job we are at retaining our students. So it does both. Gives us an idea how good we are at retention and keeping our people and renewing our people, and it makes sure that we don't forget to renew. So 8 and 9 is the number of people in a given period of time that memberships were set to expire, and the number of people we actually saved and kept as students. Very important 2 numbers there. And then finally, number 10 is attendance. I want to always know how many people came to my school every single night and trained, how many people came to my school in a given week and trained at least once. So we're going to take a look at that number because that attendance fluctuation will tell us again what's happening on the floor. So let's look at these top 10 stats again as a review, but look at them by what they're going to tell us. Number of appointments in the book. Listen, in your calendar, there's nothing more important than a business tool in your business is the calendar, right? Your appointment book, your appointment calendar, whatever system that you do to keep up with it. Because, for example, right, today is Friday. You can go look in your calendar right now and look at your schedule for next week, and I can pretty much pinpoint about kind of opportunities you have to make money. If you only have 2 L1s scheduled for next week and 1 L2 and nothing else happening, well, what could happen? The best case scenario is that you sign up, the L1 reschedules to an L2 and you signed up 2 people, and then you signed up the L2. So you signed up 3 people next week. But what's probably going to happen is you may or may not sign up the L2, and one of your people at least don't show up for the L1. So now you have 1 L1 and nobody signed up for. You could go next week without signing anyone up, right? But so we have to always look in the future at the calendar of what opportunities we have to make certain amounts of money. Your in-house revenue, if you know how much money you're supposed to bring in every single day to hit your weekly in-house goal, to hit your monthly in-house goal, then you know you have to have business. You have to have L1s every night. You have to have L2s every night. You have to have upgrade conferences, several throughout the week. Then you know your statistics. You know how good your staff members, your program directors, or your staff members are of signing students up, of renewing students. And you kind of get a feel for how well the business is going, and do you have enough business in the book, so to speak, to hit your in-house revenue. Do you have enough appointments coming in the door? Do you have enough upgrades happening to hit your in-house revenue goal? So that's a couple simple ways that we would be looking at this. Naturally, if your expiration ratio to renewals is bad or your attendance starts decreasing, it tells us that, hey, I got to do something about my classroom floor. The instruction, the instructor, the rapport, the curriculum, something's going on that our students aren't coming anymore. They're not showing up. It's hurting my renewals, which is hurting your retention. So by looking at these 10 simple numbers, it's going to tell you a lot about your business. And these 10 simple numbers is something that we look at in this part of our staff meeting every time we do a staff meeting. Now, let's take a quick look at the different ways and the different times we look at these top 10 stats. Okay? First is Monday. Every Monday we look at these top 10 stats as last week. Gives us a review of what we did last week. So this past Monday we looked at these 10 numbers as to how we did last week. What was our 10 numbers look like last week? Did we hit all of our goals? Right? Was attendance high? Did we do a great job at renewing all expired memberships that would have been gone if we didn't renew them? Is there revenue in place? And we always look at Monday, always month to date also. So we look at these in reference to last week's performance, and then we look at these top 10 stats in reference to month to date. How are we doing so far for the month? Now, the only time that really doesn't play is the first Monday of the first staff meeting of every month, because the numbers are exactly the same. But man, even Wednesday, even your staff meeting on the first Wednesday, you're looking at how you've done so far this week, how well you're doing so far for the month. Now on Wednesdays, we look at this so far for this week. Wednesday we consider about halfway through the week as far as hitting our goals. Because Saturdays, depending on some schools, if you're even open on Saturdays, may or may not be a good business day. Right? Some schools, Saturdays are great business days, some not so well. So I like to have my goals set and hit at least 50% of our goals by Wednesday. So on Wednesday staff meeting, we look at these top 10 stats in reference to how have we done so far this week. Are we halfway to all of their important goals? Halfway to our power appointment goal? Halfway to this week's new student goal? Have we scheduled upgraded conferences? Upgrade sales? Have we upgraded people? Are halfway to our upgrade goal this week? Have we brought in at least half of our in-house revenue for this weekly revenue goal? And so forth and so forth. And then, of course, on Wednesdays, we look at those numbers again as of month to date. Right? Are we on track for the month? Friday staff meetings, we don't have staff meetings on Fridays unless it is an emergency. If these numbers, if Wednesday we weren't halfway to our goal, or I feel like that there's no way we're going to hit our goal, right? If something doesn't happen, then we call another staff meeting on Fridays and we sit down and see what is it we can do on Friday and Saturday to get us back out of that hole. Is it need to get on the phone and make more appointments? Is it we need to do some marketing really quick to make more appointments? So, moving on to, Sean, we got it says, I don't know if they can see us, it's paused. So, you need to do something. Okay. Okay, we're back. Hopefully everybody's still there. Okay, so in wrapping this up for you guys, statistics, you may not be the kind of person that can keep detailed stats on a spreadsheet or in your software, but you can keep these 10 simple stats which tell you what's happening in your business. Are you on track? Are you not on track? If you don't keep up with at least the top 10 stats, you go through the month blindly, wishing, hoping, maybe for divine intervention that you do okay. But at the end of the month, you look at your books or you look at your bank account, or some of you don't even do that till the next month to see how last month was, and you go, wow, I didn't have a good month. You should know at the end of the first business day of the first day of the month if you're on track for your goals by keeping these top 10 stats. All right, guys. Hey, listen, tune in to the Ask Barry V show for any questions that I can help you with. If you have any other topics that you want us to cover on Facebook Live, please email me at ceo@barryvanover.com, and I'll be glad to do another one. Maybe do these weekly for you guys, anything that I can help you with. Thank you guys so much.